Support for this podcast is brought to you by our patrons over at patreon.com/Jeffrey Wedig.
I'm Heather from Ginnix on the Go, and you're listening to Shooting the Breeze Sailing Podcast from theescapepods.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Shooting the Breeze Sailing Podcast brought to you by theescapepods.com. I'm your host, Captain Jeffrey Wedig, and this episode is... episode number 200. Woo! Big celebration. Yay, 200. Yeah, it's definitely a milestone. I was thinking about doing some special stuff for this episode, and I don't know, keep your ears peeled at the end. Maybe I'll slap in a musical snippet from the past or something as a little special thing at the end, but I don't know. I had hoped maybe I would catch up with our erstwhile co-host, Mr. Chris Smoker, during the holidays. That did not happen, and there was like one or two other ideas where I was kicking around, and it just didn't get there. So this is going to be a standard-ish episode, but yeah, 200 episodes. That's quite a milestone in my book. I never really thought I would get that far. Took 12 years to get there. But, here we are. Just definitely want to thank all of you for paying attention and tuning in and supporting the podcast, liking, sharing, all of my patrons. I've got a couple new patrons, and I've got some people that have, they drop off for a while, then they come back kind of thing. But definitely any support is definitely appreciated. It just keeps helping me do what I do for the podcast. Definitely want to thank Mr. Smoker for helping me get started so many years ago. Thanks to my wife, Nora, for supporting me and helping me out. Jim Charles for helping me with the technical side of things. It just takes a team in some cases, but it also takes me forcing myself sometimes to sit down and do this when I don't want to do it because I got too much other stuff going on. But there was a time, I guess, right after the boat show when I started editing the first two episodes of this, and it dawned on me that the third section of our Annapolis Sailboat Show was going to be number 200. And I'm like, that might be a good place to end it. A nice round number. Mark Maron, who I listened to religiously, stopped his podcast after 16 years, and I thought maybe this would be time, and I'm like, nah. I still do get a kick out of it. I mean, it is tough to sit down sometimes and force myself to edit things and set up the website and do all that stuff, but it's still kicking it, you know what I mean? I still get a kick out of it. I enjoy having something to show off, I guess. Going to boat shows and meeting people, getting their stories. Sailing stories are great, and half the time we're sitting around a club telling sailing stories. So definitely going to keep it going. I don't know if I'll get another 200 episodes out of it, but we'll see. I might still be here in another 15 to 20 years. We'll see about that. But yeah, and I'm even considering doing a music YouTube channel. We'll see how that develops if it does. I got a lot going on. I got house projects. I got books I haven't read. I've got a car that's failing. I got a boat that has a squishy deck. Just work in general. Got got a new puppy that you can hear in the background who's chewing the hell out of the new ball I just got her. So all that stuff takes time and time away from doing this. So definitely gonna have to keep my nose a bit to the grindstone, keep things going. But definitely thank you all for being here and enjoying the little bit of thing that I do for the world of sailing. I don't know. Sail on, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see about who's coming up. I got a couple people I have to get back to that reached out before the holidays, PR people that want their clients to be on the podcast, and I have one or two other people that I was going to reach out to in the off season here. It is winter. We have a blizzard of some kind on the way, which will be our first like real big snowfall potentially. I was hoping to get down to the boat before that, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I haven't been down since before Thanksgiving, and I want to go down and check things out. And more importantly, I want to get my propane heater off of there in case we need it at home. But this is all happening on Saturday. Maybe I'll get up Saturday morning and go down before this all starts. We'll see. But it's supposed to get really cold coming up, and I'm not spending the night on the boat when it's 5 degrees out. 25, 30 is one thing. 5 degrees is a whole other thing. Speaking of Mr. Buddy Propane heaters, there's a YouTube channel out there I'd caught on to, and it's kind of one of these AI-driven, like the script is being written by somebody, but it's like a computer-generated voice with like imagery in the background that may or may not pertain to whatever they're talking about. And it's called Yachts and Boats, I believe. And they've got a slew of these that just all came out, I guess, at the same time. And I've only watched a handful of them, but generally I would shy away from that sort of thing. But the one I found really interesting was like the top 10 things that you can do on your boat that will negate your insurance policy if it all goes south for some reason. And some of these, I'm not steeped in ABYC code, really. Maybe I should be, and I'm sure it's all out there for you to read. But some of these really, caught my attention. One being standard wire-nutted electrical wire connections, which I'm not sure currently I have anything that's wire-nutted together, but my wiring is original for the most part. I had to go through and cut the ends off of my battery cables and put new terminators on. I really, really, really should put a fuse right there at the batteries, and I definitely need to strap the batteries in. They're in a cubby that's meant for batteries, but they're not really strapped in, which they should be. So the fuse needs to be put on there. What I probably have instead of wire nuts is a couple wires just kind of electrical taped together. So that's a big no-no. So essentially what they're saying is if they find evidence of arcing causing a fire due to not proper connection points on wiring, that that'll negate your insurance policy. That was one. The other one was through hulls, and I believe I had to redo all the through hulls on Lisadell when I got it. And I'm pretty sure that I bought everything at West Marine, but I do have a penchant for trying to be cheap and scoping things out at like hardware stores, Walmart, Tractor Supply, Harbor Freight, etc., etc. And I guess what they basically were saying is if you buy valves, like ball valves and things like that, that are not marine rated at like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or whatever, that is a no-no. And so if your boat sinks because one of these ball valves fail, and it's not marine rated, made out of the proper materials, that's going to negate your insurance policy. So I think I'm good on that one. I'm pretty sure I bought everything I needed at West Marine, because I remember having to travel to Delaware to a West Marine over there because they were the only ones that had it in stock, what I needed. Because I think I have 4 through hauls, I believe. And I didn't realize the one was there, even though it's pretty obvious when you're underneath the boat. You're looking at it. Oh, it's right there. So I did the first 3, and then when I needed to do the 4th one, I was like, I just bought out all of the stock at the West Marine in Northeast. So I had to find it somewhere else. So I'm pretty sure all that is good. But, your hoses all have to be rated for marine use, all that sort of stuff. So that one wasn't that much of a shocker, but definitely interesting. And the other one that was kind of like, oh, wow, was propane. So you have to have a propane tank that is, obviously certified. So I have a 4-pound tank in a locker underneath my seating outside. It's got a regulator, it's got a solenoid on off, and then it goes to my cooktop, which has 2 propane burners. However, I am not 100% sure that the hose that is supposed to be at the bottom of the locker and drain overboard is actually connected. So if any propane leaks there and goes out that hole, it's just going to drain into the boat. And I guess propane, is going to collect just like CO at the low point. And the other thing is the 1-pound green bottles that you buy at Walmart or BJ's or Costco or whatever, technically they're not allowed on a boat. So I have a Mr. Buddy heater with about 6 of those in various storage places on the boat. And for a while, when my 4-pound tank was empty and I didn't have time to remove it and go get it filled, I was using those out in that locker. I was hooking them up to the regulator, and I had bought an adapter years ago. So that's okay-ish, but the storage of them inside was the problem. So if I remember correctly, they said as little as, I think, 2 tablespoons worth of propane, if that drains into your bilge and there's a pocket of propane at the low point in your boat that can't ventilate properly, and your bilge pump kicks on or some other ignition source fires up, that could be it. That could be enough to have an explosion, and next thing you know, your boat's on fire and sinking. And if they find that would negate your insurance policy. So, I don't know. It was kind of eye-opening. Like I said, it's probably not the best YouTube channel out there. They've got a bunch of different topics, which boats are good, which boats are bad, common failure points. There's one, I think, on, and I get there's, Practical Sailor does a lot of these type of videos as well. So I'm kind of getting the thumbnails in my head back and forth. Which one's this yachts and boats and which ones are, Practical Sailor. But definitely check them out. It's definitely something to check into. I will definitely this spring be going over the electrical a little bit on my boat because, like I said, it's original. As far as I know, it's original to the boat, all of it. And I've got a wonky bilge pump that isn't working quite right the way it should, and I replaced one of the breakers, and that didn't fix it. So I still got some gremlins in that system. But anyway. So yeah, big storm coming this weekend. I'm going to get this episode out hopefully this weekend. I'm just going to run down the list of our guests. Like I said, this is the last of our Annapolis Sailboat Show interviews. We've got Andy Miller from Boatworkstoday. He's one of the OGs on the YouTube space, along with our second guest, who I'll mention in a minute. But his Boatworkstoday YouTube channel, I've been watching since way back when. He is like the master when it comes to fiberglassing, painting, like that sort of stuff on boats. And he really breaks it down and makes it interesting. And it was cool talking to him. I wasn't expecting him to be at the show. I just kind of realized it right before we went. And he was there, part of the Total Boat crowd who sponsors him. And I was able to catch up with him the one morning and do an interview. And it was pretty cool because I didn't know he does a lot of powerboat stuff. I didn't realize he is actually sailing centric. That's how he kind of got into the whole thing, being interested in sailing. And now in real life, his videos, he got a Pace Ship 24 from, I believe, 1970, which would have been the iteration of boat prior to Pegasus. The PY26 I had was from 1974. So he got this boat, and I guess cheap or free, I'm not sure, but he wheeled it into his workshop and just proceeded to gut it, strip it, take all the hardware off. And now he's like rehabbing the port lights and the deck. And then I guess he'll get on to the interior of the boat. So really interesting stuff. He's also got a service, I guess, through Patreon, where if you have a project and you want to collaborate with him and get some advice, you can send him an email. You can bump up and do like video chats while you're doing your project, all that sort of stuff. And Jim and Jesse actually got a hold of him about paint. They were looking for a specific brand and color of purple paint for their first light, their Contest 36, to match the canvas that they're making. And they spent whatever the fee was to get into Andy's little group and send him an email. And he, as a paint dealer, I guess, was able to hook them up. So pretty cool stuff there. And then our second guest kind of ties in with that is Mads Dahlke, or Maz. He's Sail Life on YouTube. And again, been OG from, way back when I first interviewed Kamau early on. He was building his boat in Baltimore. Every time I go down to talk to him, he's watching YouTube. I'm like, what are you watching? And he's like telling me about Drake Roberts or Drake Paragon and Sail Life and Sailing Nervous. You know what I mean? Like rattling off all these YouTube channels from back in the day. And so that's when I got hip to Sail Life. And at the time, he was on an Alban Ballad 30 in Denmark. And he still had a house, so he was rehabbing the boat. Once it was pretty much done, he sold the house, moved in on the boat, and then he went to Scotland, got a Warrior 38, brought it back to Denmark, spent 5 years gutting it, doing like a whole osmosis treatment, drying it out, all this stuff. Took off the top skin of deck, took out the core, redid all the coring and decking and all the hardware and everything, built himself a Dodger, vacuum forming a new rudder 2 different ways just to try it out. Like, he definitely geeks out on the DIY, and he's into the 3D printing and the CNC machining, and now he's getting into bronze forging. I tried tagging Thad Van Gilder and some of his stuff about that, because Thad's got Tuckahoe Boat Works now that has all the bronze fittings. But yeah, in one of his recent videos, so they sailed the Warrior 38 over a couple years ago, ended up in Florida, and then found a hurricane-damaged catamaran for their next project. They just recently, I guess, moved it to North Carolina. Now they're kind of looking for a permanent space to keep this thing. I mean, it's in a yard now, but they want to get a piece of property or something that they can close it. That way they can do all this work. And in one of the more recent videos, he was talking about the crazing. So the fiberglass gel coat across the whole boat has just got all these millions of little cracks. And he actually video conferenced with Andy Miller and talked about options for epoxying or polyester resin to sand these spots, like just sand the entire deck down and redo it. So that was really interesting stuff, kind of timely with these interviews coming out at the same time. But anyway, Mads is a great guy. And like I said, when early on, he came over to the States one summer, I guess in 2014 or 2015, and went sailing with Kamau and Vin. And, you know, I was really jealous because I thought I could be in that mix, and I just wasn't able to. So anyway, those are great interviews. I thank those guys for taking the time. I've been chasing Mads around with a microphone for like 3 years. So just cool guys and really interesting stuff. And I continue to watch what they're doing on YouTube. The next interview is going to be Deborah Hammett. She wrote a book called Young Salt at 60, Becoming Better Than Retired. And I knew she was going to be there. I'd seen a Facebook post about the book. And when we were walking around one day, I saw her booth and I said, hey, I want to interview for the podcast, and bought a book, interviewed her, got her story. She was a retired teacher, still had a lot of adventure lust in her life, that wanted to go out and do things. So she bought a boat and cruised to the Bahamas and came back. And now I think she's down in the Bahamas again. So I haven't read the book yet, but you can get Young Salt at 60 wherever you buy books. I'm still puttering my way through Be the Captain, a field manual by James Evenson. Only a couple pages at a time because I don't read a lot right now. I should, but I don't. I've got probably 30 books that I'm supposed to be reading. Everything from sailing to music to whatever. But I'll get there. I'll get around to it. But yeah, wherever you get books, go find Young Salt at 60. Then we stopped at the Sailrite booth and talked to Zach Grant, one of the many Grants running around the Sailrite booth. And we've talked to them in the past about their sewing machines and all that. But really interesting on this end was I saw the Good Old Boat logo. And I'm like, what's going on? So Good Old Boat, if you don't know, was a magazine up until like 2 years ago. And they went out of business, and Sailrite came along and bought the intellectual property and all the back issues, and they're kind of reissuing everything online. And they're going to kind of go through and do a new, I don't know if it's going to be a YouTube series or what it's going to be, if it's going to be articles, some sort of web presence. But you can check that out at stillgoodoldboat.com. And really, really cool that somebody is taking that stuff and making it available for everybody. And of course, they got some really cool stuff. They have this boom attachment for your stack pack that was really innovative. It was pretty cool. We talk about, and yeah, check that out. Then we get into the U.S. Patriot Sailing game. U.S. Patriot Sailing is a veteran organization that helps veterans get out on the water and handle their disabilities, mental issues, emotional issues, whatever. They have race teams, and one of them, we've talked to Peter Gibbons Neff a few times in the past. He did the mini Transat on terminal leave, his mini Transat 650 a couple years ago. And he was at the boat show with the boat, showing it off and talking about his new boat, who's getting built in France as we speak. It is a foiling boat, and he's going to have to spend 2 years. Once the boat is delivered in the spring in France, he's going to spend 2 years getting qualified and getting up to speed on foiling for the next iteration of the Mini Transit. I think they just ran one, and then he'll be doing the next one after that in, I guess, 27 or 28. But yeah, local Annapolis guy, made good, part of this U.S. Patriot Sailing. So definitely follow him. Fawcett, who is Chandlery in Annapolis, just signed up again to be part of his campaign. So check them out. Donations always appreciated. And support any way you can. And also there, as part of U.S. Patriot Sailing, was Ronnie Simpson. We talked to him. We talked to him in 2022 on Sparrow, his Open 50 that he raced in the Global Solo Challenge in 2023. He was third in that race going past South America on the east side, chasing Cole Brower when he was dismasted in rough seas and then had to cut the rig away, and he had a big low depression coming up behind him. And he just realized he wasn't going to make it if he stuck it out, and called for rescue, scuttled his boat, and got on a ship and was rescued. So at the boat show, he did a seminar talking about all of that and kind of the emotional and mental repercussions of that, the kind of getting over the trauma of the whole thing, and then re-engaging for the next Global Solo Challenge. So now he has a Class 40 and is starting a new campaign. So find him, Ronnie Simpson. I'll put all the links and stuff in the show notes, and he talks about it at the end, and about his whole process now of getting started and getting ready for the next Global Solo Challenge. But he also I think there's a snippet I might try and pull out where he talks about sailors supporting sailing. So not only like somebody supporting U.S. Patriot sailing and the veterans and all that stuff, or supporting him or Peter Gibbons Neff in their fundraising, but just any kind of support you can give to sailors, whether it's yacht clubs, marinas, vendors, getting people out on the water, getting yourself out on the water, again, liking, sharing, donating, starting a race team, being part of a race team, whatever you can do, because basically if we don't support each other and grow sailing or keep sailing, it's going to disappear, and all these marinas are going to end up just being condo places, and it's already starting. You know, all the conglomerates are coming in and buying up all these independent marinas, which is fine because they're infusing lots of money into the process, which you can see at like Lighthouse Point, where we had the Boaters Boat Show. You know, all brand new docks, all brand new amenities, all of that, new restaurants, all that stuff. But we got to be careful because we got to fill these marinas and these yacht clubs with boats. And unless you wanted them all to be power boats, you know, we just got to support sailing. So anyway, check out that interview. It was great of those guys to take the time. It was early on Sunday morning. It was blowing like hell. It was half raining out, and it was just really cool for them to sit down and talk to me about it. And then on the way out of the show on that Sunday, I ran into Ryan from Cruisers Academy. So Cruisers Academy is Brady and Blue from Delos. They started a sailing school in Lake Tahoe back in 2021 or whatever. And then they have an offshore part of that down in the Sea of Cortez. And Ryan actually sold them their first Catalina 22. Didn't know anything about anything. Didn't know who Brady was. Didn't know Delos. Didn't know anything. Just guy buying his little Catalina 22. And then he proceeded to go off cruising for a bunch of years. Came back, got roped into the whole Cruisers Academy orbit, I guess. But the reason I was talking to him is I was talking to a guy at the Total Boat booth while I was waiting for the Women on the Water movie to start on Saturday evening. And he's like, "Oh, dude, you got to talk to the guy across the way." Because I think I must have brought up that I went up the mast for the first time. Like we were talking about boat projects and whatnot. And he's like, "Oh, man," he's like, "you got to talk to this guy, Ryan, across the way. He does like industrial rigging and like elevation work where he's strung up in mountain climbing gear, going up these wind turbines, doing cleaning and repair work, you know, all kinds of stuff that just normal people don't do." And he's like, "You got to go talk to him." So I found him the next day and talked to him. So you can hear Brady and Blue in the background. They're around. You know, they're right there with Andy Shell in the 5'9" North booth, the Total Boat, the YouTube tent. All those people are right there in that corner where the seminar tent was. So anyway, it's a really cool interview. Go check them out. And yeah, that was it for the boat show for 2025. Definitely a good show. Definitely had a great time. Exhausted as usual at the end of it. But all these people deserve your support. So, you know, listen, like, share, tell your friends about their YouTube channels or whatever their businesses are. And yeah, thanks for having me. Like I said, I've been kind of getting into the music thing a little bit more. If you don't know, my dad was in a band called the Sharks in the 80s that made it to like MTV and stuff. I just recently posted, I did a video of one of their concerts back in 2025. They did a bunch of reunion concerts at the local nightclub called The Village. And I set up a multi-cam situation and R.I.P. to Denny Bird, who was a guy who ran one of the cameras. He was doing it on his own anyway. I'm like, can I get the footage? He was always helping the band with lights and things like that, and big supporter. He passed away. He was a big boater too, but he passed away just last year. And originally I did this editing down all in 2015, 2016. It took me like 4 or 5 months to really edit this stuff down and get the music lined up, and it's just really intimidating process. And I had made a DVD of it, and they sold them at some shows for a while, but now they haven't played a show since right after the pandemic. They did a drive-in show up in York, PA. And that was the last official shark show that they did, and I don't think they're going to do any more. So I took those videos, and I just recently uploaded them all to my YouTube channel, or YouTube page. I guess I don't really have a channel yet. But doing that, and then guy I went to college with. So I went to college all through the 90s. I was on the radio for like 2 years or a year and a half maybe. Well, I guess it was really only on the radio like 2 semesters. But I've since gone back. They do alumni fundraising things where you can do an air shift. And I've done that a handful of times over the years at WIXQ in Millersville, PA. So one of the guys that was a DJ with me at the same time was Paul Dengel. We called him Paul D. He had a Saturday night radio show called Diversified Chaos. It was like an hour's worth of hardcore and then an hour's worth of like industrial music. And through Facebook we keep up, and he was still really active in the scene. He started his own record label all through the late 90s up through the 2000s. I mean, I remember seeing a Motherbox sticker in like 2013, like, wow, somebody's still really following. And he was still going to shows right up until the end. And of course he just passed away not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. And I'm assuming it was unexpected. I really don't know. But definitely a loss. And it kind of got me thinking like, man, there's all these and I've got a basement full of cassettes and CDs, a little bit of vinyl. I used to do a fanzine back in the day. I bought an old beat up photocopier in my bedroom, was making fanzines every month. I have all this stuff and it's really not being highlighted anywhere. I did 10 episodes of a music podcast called Hootenanny Down the Hall. If you go to the theescapepods.com website, you can find them there. And I did one episode about some of these college radio things that I had done. So through that and through putting my dad's videos up and watching, I do spend an inordinate amount of time watching YouTube, whether it's sailing, Band of Brothers reactions, or music reactions, because it boggles my mind that there are 18 to 30-year-olds who have no inkling of who REM, U2, Led Zeppelin, whatever, Billy Joel, Elton John, like all these names that I, are deeply intimate with for the last 40 years. They don't know. They have no idea. And it kind of is like, man, part of that is education, I guess. And if I'm not going to go around maybe spotlighting these bigger bands that everybody's heard of, but I've got a treasure trove of bands nobody's ever heard of except for the people that were hanging around the Lancaster scene or the Baltimore scene or the Philly scene, all through these years. So that's why I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel for that. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, pay attention. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. Get through winter. Get into boating season here soon. And we will, like and share. Tell your friends. And we will catch you on the flip side. Sail on.
Myself alive, solid and disheveled, and my pockets torn asunder. I sank beneath the street lamp full of water, chill and chunder. Here's to long goodbyes, boys, and here's to one another. Dearer to the heart and never nearer to the gutter. So grab your ass and oyster glass, and how the hell you been? To the wild winds of misfortune blow us back to town again. Hey!
right, sir.
All right. I'm here with Andy Miller from Boatworkstoday, who, in my mind, is like a legend in the business. Because I've been watching videos of yours for years.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
How did you get to start in the marine business, like from the get-go?
So this is going back quite a few years. I would say close to 22, 24 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just decided one day that I wanted to work on boats.
Yeah.
I mean, I was all set to go in a completely different direction.
Okay.
But I decided that, boats are something that I wanted to do. They were going to argue with me a lot less than what I was pursuing at the time. So that's the direction I went. And at that point, I knew less than nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing about repair. Certainly nothing about like fiberglass or gel coat or anything like that.
Right.
So I took a job as a grunt
Okay.
at one of our local marinas. It was one of the marinas that had the most sailboats on hand. That's kind of where my heart was being pulled towards.
Oh, really?
Was more, much more so towards sailboats than powerboats.
Okay, wow.
So I took a job as a grunt at one of these marinas, and my initial job was separating water from fuel. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that for a couple of weeks, and long story short, at that time, the gel coat or the fiberglass guy that we had at that time just up and decided that he wasn't going to come to work anymore.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in the marine trades anymore.
Nope. So this is maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks in at this point.
Yeah.
The boss looks over at me and he's like, "You're the new fiberglass guy."
Oh, great.
I'm like, "Serious?" I'm like, "Sweet. Does it come with a raise?"
Yeah,
He's like,
right now.
No, not a chance. I'm like, damn it. So that was just kind of the beginning of of the journey.
Right.
So I got started doing fiberglass work, and again, I knew absolutely nothing. So I made every mistake that you could possibly make, which is in some ways good because in a lot you learn what not to do.
Do quicker. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the not exactly the most efficient way to learn.
Well, I was going to say it's not really a mentorship or an apprenticeship because the guy left.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't have anybody to show you. You had to learn everything yourself.
So everything from that point forward was a lot of trial and error.
Okay.
And a lot of error at first, probably the first year. But that's fine. I was making these mistakes, not on my dime.
Yeah.
And the boss knew what I was getting what I was forced into.
Right.
And they were very understanding. It was at that time it was a great place to work.
Yeah.
And it just continued on with that. I was there for 6 or 7 more years.
Oh wow.
And then some opportunities came up, and I decided that was the time that I was going to go off and start my own business. So that's what I did, and that's Miller Boatworks was born.
Okay.
About 10 years later, I was decided I wanted to start documenting some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when Boatworkstoday was born. So I was doing both of these simultaneously for a few years. And I got to the point where both had grown to the point where I couldn't juggle both at the same time.
Yeah. Right.
So then I decided, well, something's going to have to give, and I just saw more opportunity and less physical abuse on my body doing the video side of things. So I put out a video just kind of explaining the situation, and right there and then, Kristen, the Total Boat crew, reached out, said, "We want to work with you."
Yeah.
And from that point forward, the rest is history.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what about coming to the show with Total Boat? Like, did that just start this year? Because I don't think I've seen you here before.
Yeah, so this is my first year in Annapolis.
Yeah.
But I've done several other shows with Total Boat, primarily in Newport.
Okay.
But I've done others with other folks over in Lauderdale and Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is my first time here in Annapolis.
And then you're doing a seminar. Is that later today, or is that you're doing?
Yeah, so when we first got here, we had long format learning seminars on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was the time between the power and the sailboat shows.
Yeah, the Cruisers University stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had 2-day long format seminars then, and then that went well. And then today being Friday, we have a roughly a 1 hour-ish seminar. It's going to be myself and Moss from Sail Life.
Yeah.
And that starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Awesome. Do you have kind of a consultant business going on?
I do.
How's that work?
I do. Okay, so being known as the fiberglass guy, right? I get a lot of emails from a lot of people, asking questions on how to do some of their basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that, if I allowed it, that would tie up my entire week.
All day long, every day.
All day, all week. So I decided, let's try and find a way to kind of structure this in a way that would be fair for everybody.
Yeah.
And and at the same time still be able to help folks out with their projects.
Yeah.
So I started up a Patriot account, and that's where I run all the consultations.
Yeah.
And the way that I set it up is there's several different layers there or levels.
Yeah.
Anything from just email only all the way up to either weekly or even monthly video chats, which works out pretty cool because you can be talking with these folks.
Yeah.
They can be on their boat with their phone. Turn the camera around. I mean, real time. I can see exactly what they're working on and some of the problems they're running into. So that works out really, really slick. But that's all set up in run through patreon.com/Boatworkstoday.
Okay. And how about for fun? You sail for fun, or?
I'm working on it. Actually, the day before I flew out to come to Annapolis, I went and picked up a little 25-foot sailboat. It's a 1970.
Yeah.
It had a mini forest growing out of it. So it's going to be quite the cleanup.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Again, this is the type of boat I've been on the hunt for many, many years.
Yeah.
It's just with the criteria that I was looking for, that kind of boat is a bit of a unicorn.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find something that's going to have a size to allow for 4 people.
Yeah.
You got to really like each other. It's still a small boat.
Yeah, exactly.
But it'll allow for 4 people. And it'll still be, fairly safe to take out. I want to take my girls out. They've never been out sailing, which is ironic.
Yeah.
But so that's the plan. I hope to get all that turned around over this coming winter.
What is your home sailing grounds?
Lake Superior.
Lake Superior. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Lake
can
Superior.
Get a little frothy from time to time.
I grew up on Lake Superior ever since we moved here when I was a little over 1 year old.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I grew up on that lake. I'm intimately familiar with it in both good and not so good ways.
All right. Yeah, right. Any particular total boat product you're impressed with that you want to speak about?
Particular ones, no. Basically, if it has their brand on it,
it's good to go.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it, regardless of what it is. Their gel, what I use primarily is going to be a lot of their gel coats, their polyester resins, their epoxies, their fairing compounds, and that's going to apply to both the epoxy base as well as polyester base. So if it's branded Total Boat, you're going to be happy with it.
All right, and how can people find you?
A couple different ways. You can go to boatworkstoday.com.
Okay.
And look me up there. You can also go to millerboatworks.com if you're looking for some finishing materials.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm reluctantly getting a little bit more involved with more of the other social avenues. Tech is not my strong suit.
Right.
But I'm trying.
They got guys for that,
I know. I'm gonna try and prove that you can teach an old dog new tricks.
There you go. All right, perfect. So if you have any questions with anything fiberglass, boat building, what about mechanical stuff? Do you get into that too, or
you don't want me touching mechanical?
Okay.
No. So basically, the easy way that I explain this is I do the things that make your boat safe and look good.
Okay.
So fiberglass, gel coat, woodworking, and painting.
Painting. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm here with the one and the only. Is it Mads? Maz?
It's potato.
Potato.
Whatever you want. In Danish, the D is silent, but there's no obligation over here to follow that.
I got you. All right. So I was talking to Andy just a minute ago. He's one of the early ones that I watched, and you especially are one of the early ones that I watched.
Oh, thank you.
Back, I interviewed Kamau. I remember the guy building the boat in Baltimore.
I went to see Kamau.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you came for that, and then I think Vin from Sailing Nervous was around at that point. You guys went for a sail. All that's I remember all that happening in real time because I interviewed Kamau, and he's like, "Oh, you got to be watching Drake, and you got to be watching Mads," and I'm like, "Who are you talking about?" At the time, I had a very faint knowledge of YouTube and anything sailing related on it, so. He was the one that was kind of you got to watch this, you got to watch this, you got to watch this,
Well, that was kind of the early days. We weren't that many.
Right. It was 2014, 2013, you know what I mean? So, and I remember one year, I thought it was really cool. I think we should redo it someday is that Christmas video.
With all the creators.
Together, all the creators. There's 8 of them. That
was basically all the YouTube back then.
Exactly, right. So you are Mr. Refit.
Yep.
Because I remember you were kind of halfway through the Albin ballad, right? 30.
Yep.
When I started watching, so you were installing the diesel heater and putting the things under the bed and all that kind of stuff, redoing some kind of propane tank. all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then how long then did that take, the first original one, from you like getting in, like I'm going to buy a boat and then I'm going to refit it and then I'm going to sail it? Just that first one. Because you weren't even living aboard or anything at that point.
No, so what had happened is I always wanted to sail, but I never had the time. Then I finished college, finished refitting a house or restoring a house. And then I was like, oh, I'll join a sailing school.
Okay.
So I was there for one lesson, and I was like, yes, I'll buy a sailboat. Yep, this will be it. So I bought the Ballad, and then I spent that winter doing the majority of the refit on that boat. And then maybe a year after that, kind of tinkering. And then, just lived on that for the next 7 years. 7 years?
Yeah. Because I remember actually you taking that out to go sailing and stuff, kind of in between, And then, so what was the limiting factor on that boat that you wanted to go bigger?
Well, there were...
Several.
I mean, there were several, yes. Like, I didn't have standing headroom on it.
Okay.
And if, like, living 7 years kind of crouched over, that's okay, but it's not the best, And also, like... by then, I'd met Ava, and we knew there was going to be two of us. And
right.
I mean, two on a 30-foot racer cruiser, you got to be real close to them.
Yeah. So you discovered a Warrior 38 in Scotland, was it?
That's correct.
So you went, got it, sailed it back.
Yep.
And then, this is the part that gets me. Like, this is not just, I'm going to look at it, maybe I'll fix that, You were like, I'm going to strip this entire boat down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spend 5 years doing it, putting it back together.
Yeah.
And you knew that from the day you bought it, right? Pretty much?
I knew I wanted to do like a lot of boat work because I like doing the boat work. I didn't know all the stuff I was going to find in that boat. Like there were some surprises. And it was, it's a learning experience. Now I know more things to look for.
Yeah, exactly. Because you ended up changing like the internal layout a little bit, moving kind of bulkheads and things.
Yep, rebuilt the whole deck. Did a somewhat extensive osmosis treatment. Gutted the interior.
I remember the heating pads on the hull, all that stuff.
Which worked out really well. Haven't had a single blister since then.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's great. I was telling you yesterday, I have a little soft spot in the front of my deck, so I'll probably be revisiting part of that video where you cut off the skin and look at this. So maybe support it underneath a little bit so you don't fall through.
Yeah, that'd be nice, It's just for safety.
Right. Yeah. So you did get that done. And that was all in Denmark, right?
Yep.
And were you living aboard the Ballad when you were doing that?
Yep.
Wow.
It's it was 2021 when we left Denmark, and I quit my full-time IT job 4 months before leaving, and I think I sold the album Ballad was it 3 or 4 months before leaving? It was
here we are, we're gone.
Yep.
So you did do a lot of sailing, though. Like, I was kind of giving you crap yesterday that you're living aboard, but you don't really sail, but you sailed a lot. You have the cred of going from there to here.
I mean, we at least have one ocean crossing. Right? It's something. There are people that have sailed longer. There are people that have sailed shorter. It's the thing about living on a boat is, right, once it's parked, it's getting it out. You got to pack away stuff.
I know. I have a local captain here who's up in Middle River, lives aboard. I think it's a Jeanneau 42 or 140. I'm not sure which, but anyway, he's got the galley all set up for cooking breakfast, doing this, doing that. And I was talking to him about going day sailing. He's like, "Well, that's like a whole week before you got to kind of plan. Next Saturday I'm going to take it out for a weekend, but it's going to take me Monday through Friday to get this thing squared away."
It's not a quick process. You got to see if you can wriggle that stupid shore power plug out of there. It's thrown in there.
So you actually have become very culturally relevant in a lot of ways, but especially with glorious sanding. So talk about how that came across. Just a saying, you were like, "Hey, here it is, it's sticking."
The glorious sanding. I don't know. It's so much English is my second language, and I got a lot of my vocabulary from old movies and stuff. So glorious just kind of popped in there.
You sell T-shirts with it on. There it is. So the other thing I wanted to ask you was the rudder. When you made the rudder, because that was one I was very interested in, because that's a very complex vacuum process on one side. And then you 2 rudders? I can't remember how that worked.
No, I did the rudder for Athena. That was like making a mold out of the old rudder, vacuum infusing new shells and like epoxy foam. There's way easier ways to do it.
Okay.
But like one of the reasons I like DIY is because I get to learn new things.
Right.
I get to push myself.
Yeah.
And that was why I went that route. And it's
what
really
kind
fun.
of resources were you using to get that knowledge and figure that out?
I don't know. There's this thing called YouTube.
There you go. Right. Okay.
I think a lot of the infusion stuff I got off of Easy Composites. There's a UK. Well, they're all over the world now, I think, actually. But yeah.
So you're not only a spokesmodel, you're a user as well, right?
Yeah.
Now that's something where, like my rudder, I have an O'Day 302 from the 80s, and I got the boat, and the first year I hauled it out, it cracked all along the front because there was water in it.
Frost, yeah.
Well, water was getting in it, and then it froze, and then boom. So I fixed that, and then put a hole in the bottom and put a screw in there. So I just drain it out every year.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm either going to have to buy a new one or make a new one. And I'm like, that's another video I'm going to have to like go back to because we do have a workshop that I can use.
Yeah.
I just would need to fabricate, get the vacuum pump, do all that stuff if I'm actually going to do it,
Yeah. I think if I was to make a rudder again, I would be tempted to maybe go, if I could have access to a CNC.
Yeah.
Then like... use that to shape the foam. And then just glass over that. So you skip the mold process.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
It's just one of those projects that's looming.
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
And I think I told you yesterday, I avoid projects as much as possible. Because I don't, like I said, you have, especially with this new build, so you found a catamaran that had sunk at some point in its life, I guess, and then got parked up on stands. So that's what you're in the middle of now. That was in Florida. You got it going to a certain degree. Now it's in North Carolina.
That is correct.
And you're finishing it off. So this is like a whole other project. But you have the benefit of living nearby or being there a lot.
And also, like, it is my full-time job, right?
Full-time thing,
It's the Athena's refit I did on the side of having a full-time job.
Right.
That is a whole other
ball of wax.
Yes. Yeah. that is a lot of work. It's very stressful. It's
yeah. That's a lot of evenings, late nights, and weekends, and then I got to get up and go to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's I think the only reason I could actually do that back then with Athena was because Ava and I had started dating, but we were on separate sides of the planet.
Right.
So I was de facto single. Like I there was nobody waiting for me home. Like it was, you could just
concentrate. Yeah. Well, that's my problem. It's like I'm an hour and 40 minutes from my boat if I'm going to do a weekend-long project. And 3 hours into it, I'm like, I got to go a half hour up the street to go to the hardware store.
No, that really, really eats into it.
It slows you down. It stops you cold. You're like, man. And then at some point, you're like, well, I guess I'll just have to replan this for next weekend. So talk to me about the technology, because that's, I think, one of your strong suits, is the technology you incorporate into your boat just for cruising, but planning it out, getting the wiring where you want it, the way you want it. Seemed like very intense stuff. You have a degree in...
So I was a software developer for 20 years, and as that, most software developers, they are a slight wee bit on the geeky side. So there are certain things that appeases us and appeals to that sentiment. Right? It's tinkering with wires and electronics is one of them.
And talk about some of the new products you've been using. I know you had like a big battery bank that you were using that you were testing out, kind of.
Like for the catamaran, or?
Yeah.
Well, it's.
You would get a box like, hey, let's open this and then see what it does, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we've gotten a bunch of sponsored products. None of that is really going to go into the catamaran in its final shape.
Okay.
We're more using it so I'm building a container workshop right now to be able to make parts over the winter when it gets cold. Those lithium batteries are going to be powering that, along with some inverter chargers. But for the catamaran, I fully expect us to go digital switching again, which is wonderful technology in my eyes. Not everybody agrees, but it's fine.
So the workshop you're building, are you doing 3D printing? Are you getting into all that kind
of
stuff?
On Monday, a 4x4 work surface CNC is showing up.
Yep.
And I'm going to use that this winter for making molds. For making some of the big parts for the catamaran, like a giant eyebrow that's, I don't know, like 10 feet long and like, so that's kind of the next step in my DIY evolution.
Yeah, now you're fabricating.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I've always wanted to do that. And if we manage to find a bit of property in North Carolina, I would really like to set up like a little machine shop, like nothing huge, just
Yeah. Are there any? You're here at the show, so you're kind of doing seminars. Were you here for Cruisers University or any of that stuff? Or?
No, I'm doing three seminars with Total Boat.
Total Boat, yeah. Are you doing the YouTube thing as well? Or?
Yeah. I'm coming up here at in an hour or so. Yeah.
What about vendors that you've worked with? Are they any of them here?
Yeah, and that's one of the great things to come to the boat show is the people we have worked with. A lot of them, we have good relationships. It's really nice to catch up.
Commiserate.
Ron, like Ron, he's the majority owner of Rain Man. Like we've been emailing back and forth for years. And yesterday we finally met in person. So it's nice to
Sweet. I just remember years ago, John Franta, Caligo Marine. He's here. He dipped into the 3D printing like early on. And doing like a lot of carbon fiber stuff with Andy Shell from 59 North and all that stuff. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't need it, but I'm in between these two. Like, oh, you're talking to him, you're talking to him. I know who you are because you were on his podcast.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So anyway, where can people find you?
YouTube, Sail Life, Instagram, Sail Life. That's Ava's domain. Like I am too old to do short form content. I don't really mess with that, but
I've seen her take point on most of that stuff.
She is really good at it. She's really good at it.
Yeah, cool. Living in America.
Yep.
What do you think?
A bit of a culture shock. Especially nowadays.
Florida versus North Carolina, weather-wise, seeing a difference?
Weather-wise, 100% North Carolina. People, 100% North Carolina. It's just North Carolina is a lot more like Denmark, chill. Like where I grew up. It's like it's rural. People are freaking chill. It's nice. There's no like,
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for stopping by.
Oh, you're welcome.
Speak up, Total Boat, everybody. What is Total Boat? Is it totalboat.com or is it?
That sounds about right.
Any particular products you're fond of?
I've used a lot of their high-performance epoxy, which that is really great. It's the best epoxy I've used. I'm excited to see what the viscosity is going to be this winter. When it starts being cold, because I've mainly used it in South Carolina and Florida where it's been hot. So of course it's going to be more like water, meaning easier to wet out. So it'll be interesting to see this winter.
I like the 42 million.
That is a great 3M, eat your heart out.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Yep.
See ya.
Hear me?
Yep. All right. I'm here with Deborah. What's your last name?
Hammett.
Hammett. Okay. Hammett. You're here at the Annapolis Sailboat Show. You got a sign here that says becoming better than retired. Young salt at 60. And so you have a book that you've written, and I kind of was catching your spiel a little bit here, but why don't you tell everybody how you got to sailing and then writing a book about it.
So I was a school teacher for 35 years on Martha's Vineyard Island.
Oh, wow.
And even though I was surrounded by water, I never learned how to sail a boat until after I retired. And at that point, I started watching these YouTubers living an amazing life of sailing in the tropics and traveling on their boats. And I thought, I want to do that. And I ended up buying a boat, a freshwater boat on Lake Champlain. And I brought it down through the locks with a little bit of help. And then I sailed solo from the Hudson River all the way to the Exumas.
Oh, wow.
And then back up to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
And when I got back up to Martha's Vineyard and told people what I'd been up to lately, I heard from a lot of ex-students and a lot of people who knew me as a writing teacher, hey, you should write a book.
Yeah, of course.
So I thought, of course I should write a book.
Yeah.
And that is something that I can do on board my vessel. So every word of my book, Young Salt at 60, was written on board. And the purpose is to teach people that, hey, if I can do it, you can too. And in simple teacher terms, I am explaining the content necessary to be able to do it safely, and at the same time entertain the reader with the crazy Lucille Ball style mistakes that I made while I was underway.
Did you proofread your own material?
I proofread my own material, but then I gave it to an editor.
Okay.
I sure did, and I had some help publishing it for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what name some of the YouTube channels that you were inspired by? Or any sailor?
Okay, so it was the O'Kellys and the Winds and Sailing Good, Bad, Ugly.
Yep.
Those were really the top ones.
Okay.
La Vagabonds.
Yeah.
And just looking at the ability to access places that you cannot be accessed by land is really what drew me into it. Because living on a tourist island, Martha's Vineyard, it's inundated with crowds that you can't even walk through. I didn't want to be in those places. I wanted to be in places that were really serene, natural beauty, beautiful beaches. And so I sail myself there now in the winter, and I sail back to the vineyard for the summer, it's an amazing life.
Wow.
In fact, I don't think I know how to go back to land life.
Land life. So you moved on whole hog.
Whole hog. Sold my car. Yep.
Did you take lessons to learn to sail?
I sure did, yes. I went for a week in the Abacos, and I took ASA 101, 103, 104, and 114. With Cruz Abaco. Captain Joe taught me. He was amazing, and I still hear his voice in my head every time I wrap a winch. And it was fantastic.
So what kind of boat did you end up getting?
I have a Jeanneau 36, and she's a lovely boat, and all of the lines run back to the cockpit. And I am a very safe sailor. I don't like to leave the cockpit unless it's an emergency. So you won't see me out there unless I'm hanging dock lines or fenders in a very calm situation with the boat in neutral, But I play it safe. I have a fast, light wind boat that does not like rough seas. So I can do really well in great weather, and that's what I aim for. I'm on no schedule. That's the beauty of being retired.
Yep.
Is that first of all, you can learn to do something like this in record time because you have all the time in the world to devote to it. And the other thing is that you are in no hurry when you're sailing, and a schedule is the kiss of death for sailors. And I'm really lucky not to have one.
Now, are you doing a lot of this solo, or do you got crew coming along?
I am about 80% solo. I do have crew coming along here and there for making faster overnight, longer passages. And then the other thing I've discovered that I really enjoy is buddy boating. Because now I'm starting to network, and I am part of a whole tribe of sailors who go north and south. Cruisers who are basically a community. We're like a little subculture. And we can see each other on, marine traffic, and we can stay in touch with each other in different anchorages, and it's fun.
Now, are you en route as we speak with the boat here?
As we speak, the boat is here, and I am headed as soon as the boat show is over to the Bahamas again.
Now
this time I hope to make it to the Ragged
Islands. Are you doing the ICW? Are you doing offshore the whole way?
I have learned that the ICW is actually more dangerous than going offshore, so I am planning to be offshore as much as I possibly can be.
Wow. So and then how long do you stay? Are you traditional get out by June type of thing and get back up? Or?
Oh yeah, definitely by June. I will probably be leaving the Bahamas around the end of April, and So I haul out in North Carolina. I have my mom lives there, so I get work done down there. I have a great marina down there, and and I stay with my mom, and it's a good way for me to stop there on my way down and on my way back up north.
Yeah. And any thoughts of going up to like Maine in the summer type of thing, or? I got a line cutter for the Maine lobster traps. So it is, a possibility, but I just didn't feel like I was into doing that this year. Okay.
My kids spend a lot of time on Martha's Vineyard in the summertime, so I kind of hang around there and,
Cool.
Yeah,
so
that's my stomping ground.
What does the book cover then? Your whole thought process of getting into it?
The book is about a couple of things. It's about fear management because, of course, I had to
get over it.
Be brave. And the other thing is about how I learned the stuff I needed to learn in order to be able to manage a 36-foot boat solo to the Bahamas and back. Things like talking to bridge tenders, things like finding a place to anchor, things like storms, things like engine maintenance, all that stuff. The upgrades I needed to make on my boat in order to, be able to go that kind of distance.
So how's the book been received? Did you just release it recently?
Pretty well. It's been a best-selling sailing narrative on Amazon, and so that's been pretty good. And one thing that I have discovered, the reason I wrote a book instead of being a YouTuber is because, I'm not young and 30 and running around in my bikini. So I decided to write a book because, it's really more toward an audience who is our age and maybe still reads books. And at the same time, I wasn't really able to hold a camera on myself all the time while also learning to do the things I needed to be doing on the boat. So I write the book, and then I talk to marketing people, and they say, "Oh, you got to establish a social media presence." So now I'm trying to do some Instagram posts. So I am doing that.
Insta's a little easier because you can do still pictures, you can do shorts. It doesn't take a lot of editing. My friend Kate, Captain Boomies, she just sat and edited a video the other day in like 10 minutes and posted it up. It's like a 30-second clip. So it's pretty easy. So where can we find the book at?
So the book is on Amazon, and the book is on Barnes and Noble, and it comes in Kindle and audio, and and I've got a bunch of copies on board. So if you happen to see Mavia out there cruising up and down the East Coast or in the Bahamas, hit me up for a book.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Go ahead.
Hey, this is Zach Grant with Sailrite.
There you go. I'm Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
We do the Shooting Breeze Sailing podcast here. I'll give you a card and all that later. But I was walking by and I saw the big sign over there that says you guys are going to digitize the backlog, I guess, of Good Old Boat Magazine, which is very interesting to me.
Absolutely. So we had worked with Good Old Boat for many years. We were actually one of their very first publishers and had the back cover ever since inception. And when they decided they wanted to move away from what they were doing, they reached out and said, "Do you have any interest in the IP?" We said, "Absolutely. We're a content company." So we said, "What we're going to do, and it'll take a little while, but we're going to take every single issue ever published. We're going to digitize every single record. But on top of that, we're going to build a sailboat database because we design and build sails, and my grandfather who started Sailrite collected blueprints ever since Sailrite started. So we have thousands of sailboat blueprints and data, marketing material.
That's sweet.
So we're digitizing all of that as well, all free content. And we're even building a sail calculator in case you want to determine what size sail you need for your boat.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because Good Old Boat, I guess they stopped publishing a year, maybe 2 ago now?
Yep.
So where is that going to be? Is that going to be at goodoldboat.com still?
Yep, it is still all goodoldboat.com.
Okay, great. Any thoughts on new stuff?
Yeah, so the goal is get all the original content digitized, And then we have in-house copywriters at Sailrite that are going to actually start doing what they used to do at Good Old Boat, which was reach out to people, interview, do stories, and start to intertwine the Sailrite content as we do projects into the website in more of a written format.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. I look forward to reading and seeing all that. You know, I was always bummed when they went out and stopped. You know, I'm like, oh man, that'd be great if somebody would resuscitate this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, they have amazing content and a great story.
And
so
we
just
perfect fit for Sailrite.
Absolutely, we do too.
Yeah, cool. All right, so you got a stand here. You got all kinds of things happening. What is the boom bracket?
So the boom bracket was a solution to anyone who had a stack pack. And what it does is it solves two problems. It prevents the tail end of the stack pack from slouching over, which looks really messy after you spend either a bunch of money or a bunch of time making one. The second thing it does is because it has a mounting point at the top of it, it allows you to mount your zipper pulley more in line with the top of the pack to allow it to open and close a lot smoother.
I know several people who are doing it themselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Making stack packs over the past couple of years. And I think that'd be a phenomenal.
Oh,
I don't have a stack pack. I have the traditional sail cover. But someday, you know, there's always someday.
Yes, there is.
But I think that's a great thing because I like scoping out products that are intuitive like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's an easy retrofit. If you have a stack pack, it works. If you're building one, it works too.
Works too? Oh, awesome. So what's the latest and greatest in the OG line of sewing machines?
So obviously we're always trying to improve things. Now the sewing machine hits its 27th birthday this year.
Oh, wow.
And we've improved about as much as you can improve on the sewing machine. The new worker bee motor system came out a couple years ago, and we're kind of just letting that ride. It's great as it is. We have no improvements on the horizon, so we've been kind of reshifting focus elsewhere, and we came out with a handy press this year.
I see that. That's pretty nice looking.
And again, we want to try and make everything easy for people, and there are hundreds of groups that make dyes for everything from bag making, leatherwork, canvas. Right. We wanted to create a press that accepted all of those dyes, because it's expensive to jump around between all these dyes because you have to buy their hand press. We wanted one press that accepted all dyes and allowed you to do all types of work.
And how much does something like that run?
So the hand press itself with all the adapters to accept all dyes is just under $500.
Okay. And does it come with the base and all that stuff? Or?
So normally somebody would mount it to their workbench.
I got you.
But we did create a portable package where you can mount it to a base. It is separate, but it's a nominal like $40 difference.
And I see on the back wall there you got all your fun-looking tools.
We do, yes. Oh, yeah. We're trying to showcase everything we have, but it's really hard.
It's difficult.
We have over 18,000 individual SKUs, so that's including our fabric, our hardware, and whatnot. So it's a lot to show. When we're here at the show, Annapolis, we try to just distill it down to the core of the items and then pictorially show other things we think might benefit sailors.
Right. Perfect. So the website is
Sailrite.com and goodoldboat.com.
Goodoldboat.com. Perfect. And you still have all the do-it-yourself videos and things like tutorials and all
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, so most people know us by our core channel with Eric Grant at Sailrite DIY. We actually just started a new channel, Sailrite Workbench, with smaller format projects, bags, leatherwork. And it's taking off, has huge success, and I recommend everybody go check it out.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you for letting me stop by and chat at you about it.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. You're welcome.
All right, I'm here in the wind on the dock with Peter Gibbons, Neff. You probably should be out sailing in this stuff, practicing, right?
Thanks for having me on again. No, the boat loves it. This is perfect conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's blowing, 15, 20 right now. And a couple gusts blew my hat off almost on the bridge. So they got to be getting up over 30 at times. And
good wind. Good wind, nice and gray out.
Yep. Perfect conditions.
Feels like Brittany, France.
Cool. So you're here with Terminal Leave, as always. I think I'm trying to remember last time we talked, you had gotten back from the mini transat, all the stuff that happened with your rudder, all that fun stuff had occurred. So where are you at now? I know you're planning on the next one, and maybe you've got a new boat coming at some point.
Yeah, so this is our second time at the show again.
Yeah,
back here in Annapolis, where the terminal leave, the Mini 650 lives.
Yeah.
And I live also.
Yeah.
And the big announcement is that earlier this week, we just launched the new campaign to race in the 2027 edition of the Mini Transat.
There you go.
And even more exciting is we have a brand new boat that's getting built soon. So brand new design from Sam Manward, getting built over in France. And it's going to be ready to start sailing later this spring.
Later in the spring? So
it's 2026.
26? All right. So it's kind of nearby where you started out with this boat, right?
Exactly. That's the crazy thing. It's getting built at a place called JPS, and it is maybe 100 yards away from where I had terminal leave for 3 years over there in France in La Trinité-sur-Mer. So
nice.
It's a great place. I know the area well, and Sam Manward lives about 20 minutes down the road, so you can go check on the build, see how the boat's going, and it's going to be a fast boat.
Yeah, I bet. So how do you get to designing a new boat? I mean, is this an existing design? Did you have your hands in designing it? Like, how's that work?
So, yes to all. So, it is the next iteration, version 2.0, for those following the Mini Transat. If you've seen the Nico-Matic boat, it's fully foiling, racing actually in this edition of the Mini Transat right now. That's a previous Sam Manward design. This boat that is getting designed, that got designed by him, it's the next iteration of that. So think about that boat, but the newer, improved design of it. So a couple years newer iteration of it.
So they've sea-trialed the original one, said, hey, maybe we could do this next time, and then we're going to make it better.
Yes, and so I actually raced against that boat in the 23 edition. And they've been working on it for a couple years, and they've got it dialed in this year, and now they've won every single race they've raced in so far this season.
Oh, wow.
And they were winning the first leg of the Mini Transat until a hurricane came through and they had to cancel the race, but that leg. But they're getting ready to restart in the Canaries soon. And they'll be going over and keeping a close eye on that boat. If history tells us anything, that they should be winning that leg.
Right. Who's racing that boat? Do you know?
Benoit. So it's his boat. Him and his wife Caroline, and
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
So since you've done a Mini Transat, are you automatically qualified to get into the next one, or you got to do some dancing?
No, so we still have to qualify. There's a slightly different, it won't be, it'll just be different. I still have to do a lot of races. So it's still the 1,500 nautical miles of racing. But I've already done the 1,000-mile qualifier, which is good. But in the boat that you're doing the race in, you have to do a certain number of miles in races. But the plan is to have the boat for 2 full seasons over there. And so I'll be racing in a lot of races. The off-year races from France to the Azores and back. So that's a good 2,600 miles right there.
You're good to go on that one.
Exactly.
So what about terminal leave? It's going to stay here in Annapolis and be raced with Patriot, U.S. Patriot Sailing? Or?
Yeah, exactly. So we've had it here in Annapolis. We've been taking veterans out on it and racing it locally, ORC racing. And the plan is eventually I'll have to sell the boat or charter it out. If anyone wants to do the Bermuda one too, or even ship it over to France to do the Mini Transat, this boat's ready to go. You could go to Bermuda tomorrow if you wanted to on it.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe you just, it's getting a little chilly up here. You might want to just take it to Bermuda for the weekend, right?
Exactly. So if anyone out there wants to seriously considering maybe taking this boat on for its next adventure, have them reach out to me. And also, if anyone wants to do the Mini Transat and is thinking about it, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help anyone that wants to take on that journey.
I mean, how many, I forget how many, it was like 130 entrants or something like that?
So my edition, 150 people signed up for it. Only 90 are allowed to race. So they capped it at 90.
I gotcha.
And then of the 90, I was the only American in the 23 edition.
And then what about this edition? Do you know?
So it's 90 boats again.
And any Americans in it this time?
There's one French-American. Yeah, American. So she's doing it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So talk about Patriot, U.S. Patriot Sailing a little bit.
So U.S. Patriot Sailing, it's a great nonprofit organization that I'm very passionate about. I've been sailing with the team since 2018. And I got involved with them when I came back from a deployment. Going through a challenging time, and they were there for me because this nonprofit supports veterans through sailing. It's all about getting people out on the water, navigating their challenges together in that veteran community. Both active duty and if you've been out for 30 years and you want to come back and find that community, we're there for you. So it's that shared sense of purpose. And it's a good mix of people that need some help, but then also there's plenty of veterans that just want to be there for the camaraderie and help out their fellow veterans. So it's a really good mix of people. And we got locations across the country too. So it's all volunteer run, but we got teams here in Annapolis, Solomons, Maryland, San Diego, LA, Seattle, and more coming soon.
Right.
And they have we have donated boats that the team owns and maintains at each of those locations.
At each one. Okay, great. Yeah. And then, so talk about your new re-upping sponsor.
Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, so Fawcett Boat Supplies, local boat supply company here in Annapolis. They've been here forever. They've been super supportive for the first campaign. That first campaign, they opened the doors, because I bought this Mini here in Annapolis.
Yeah.
They opened the doors. We filled the boat with all this gear, shipped it over to France.
Yeah.
They helped out throughout those 3 years.
Yeah.
If you see those beautiful sails, that was all them really supporting that.
Right.
And they signed on again. They loved what we did the last campaign. They want to support again.
Yeah.
And they're going to be on this new foiling boat as we race across the Atlantic in 2027.
So talk about foiling, because that to me seems a little outrageous.
Yeah, so these boats the minis are now foiling in the prototype.
Yeah.
And so foiling, canting keel, carbon fiber, rotating wing mast.
Wow.
It's got all the works. But we're still not allowed to have satellite communications, so it's no Starlink, no SATCOM.
Okay.
We have a basic GPS, but you're using paper charts.
Paper
so
charts.
you're going 30 knots with paper charts.
Paper charts, yeah.
But it's going to be fun. And there's a few boats that are foiling. So like the previous design from Sam's, it's foiling now.
Yeah.
There's not all the boats are going to be foiling out there, but just a few of the.
Is it like a separate class type of thing, or no?
So the way it works is like the Mini 650 I have is part of the series or the production class, which is fiberglass, hull, aluminum rig.
Right.
That's one part of the class. The other part of the class is prototypes.
Okay.
Strictly box rule, where you can build a one-off prototype.
Yeah.
That's what I'm building as a prototype.
Okay.
But we all cross the starting line at the same time.
Okay.
And then the two parts of the class are scored separately.
Okay.
But there's no handicap racing or anything. So it's the first boat to cross the finish line wins.
Yeah. Now, how much foiling have you actually done?
Not much.
So
you know what though? I'm going to learn. I got 2 years to learn when I'm over there.
Yeah.
We're going to be training with Nico Matic. We're going to be over there in Lorient. We're going to be in the same area racing against them. So it's going to be 2 years of learning how to do it on that boat.
Yeah, because it seems to me the foiling now is adapting to the smaller boats.
Absolutely.
Because you started off with like the orange one and black one. It was like a 30-footer. A couple years ago, they had the first foiling, like not cruising boat, but like a 30-foot boat, as opposed to the 60-foot boats. You know what I mean?
When they've been going back, I would say that I'm no foiling expert, but I know they've also had the foiling Moss for a while too. So one person little dinghy boat. There's been small boats, larger boats, and then there's been foiling minis for a few years now. But they're finally just getting it dialed in, and this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to get into it, so I'm really excited to launch this new campaign.
I saw the birdie fish back at the spring boat show. That thing looks fairly interesting.
that looks like a cool boat. Absolutely.
And talk about, and this is just a curiosity, there's a couple different veterans and disabled groups, so like Crab, Valhalla, Skeleton Crew, like, do you interact with any of those also, kind of in the social media sphere or in person?
Absolutely. I mean, there's other veteran sailing organizations, and at the end of the day, we're all here to support veterans. And so if veterans want to sail with multiple different teams, more the better. So, find that team that works for you. Actually, the way I found US Patriot Sailing is when I was in the dark days when I really needed some help. The founder and director of the team reached out to me personally and said, "Hey, come sail with us. Come out. Come help us." And I was able to help them when actually they were helping me.
Helping you. Right.
And so that's how I found US Patriot Sailing. But we are good friends with other organizations too. And so, for instance, for Crab, they're able to help veterans that maybe have more physical disabilities. That if we can't take them on our boats, Crab is the next level of support for them. So they're a great organization. You have Warrior Sailing. They're a great organization. They have some great, couple day long.
Like excursion type things,
or more training camps or courses week-long courses. They go around across the country and they got some great courses they run. Excellent training. Some of those veterans do a course like that, and then they join US Patriot Sailing, where now they can come sail multiple days a week if they want, or come out do Wednesday night racing, things like that, or weekend racing with us. It's all about getting the veterans the support they need and finding that camaraderie together.
All right, cool, man. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk. I mean, this weather's, like I said, is getting kind of crazy. Ronnie already moved his boat.
Luckily, I'm local, so I don't have to go too far, and not too worried about it. But
you're kind of pointing into the wind, so you're getting pushed off the dock.
We're in a good spot here. We're in a good spot, and just happy to be here. And I wanted to spend another day out here with the boat show, just be able to share our message of US Patriot Sailing, let supporters and followers be able to see the boat in person, and just enjoy Annapolis and have the boat here.
So, and before we go, so you were what kind of speeds were you talking about with this boat, and then what are you anticipating with the new foiling?
So this Mini 650 I have, we were hitting speeds of over 15, 16 knots out in the trade winds, fully loaded down with all the gear, still going over 16 knots with the spinnaker up. The boat loved it. The new boat's going to be going over 30 knots.
Oh, jeez. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm here with Ronnie Simpson, part of U.S. Patriot Sailing and Global Solo Challenger from, 2023 was that?
Yeah.
And then you're planning on doing it again in 2027?
Yep.
Is that correct? All right.
Yep.
So, yeah, you had a presentation over at the seminar booth the other day that I was able to check out. And we talked to you before you left when you were here with the boat Sparrow. Was that 2022, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was at the Annapolis show 2022, but also spring of 23.
23, okay, great. So I think that's the last time we talked to you. So you had a fairly successful campaign up to a point. But you were definitely competing, right? You were going around, you went 3/4 of the way around the world.
Yep.
And you were in the top couple, I would imagine, because you were kind of chasing Cole, right? She was on a FAR 40, I believe. Is that correct?
Well, Cole was on a Class 40 that is actually a sister ship to the boat that I have now.
That you got now.
So
right?
same design, very, very similar boat.
Yeah.
Older, tough, rugged Class 40 Owen Clark design.
Okay.
I was on an older Open 50 from the 90s, and I was with limited resources. I had managed to get to the start line and made it 80% of the way around the world in third place out of 16 boats, and unfortunately dismasted. And so really wasn't something where I felt like there was, a user error or a big mistake that was made. It was just one of these things that happens, and unfortunately it happened, and I just gotta pick myself back up and try to go again, and that's what I'm doing now. So picked up a Class 40, again very similar to the boat that Cole had. A boat that was also in the Global Solo Challenge, and we had it here at the Annapolis Boat Show 2025, so 3 years after the first one. And unfortunately we're not at the show at the moment. We moved the boat out last night just with this weather because we were in a pretty vulnerable spot, and
you're right out on the edge of the whole show, kind of sideways to the wind, and so it's gonna get worse apparently. So you don't want to be screwing around trying to get your new boat off the dock.
And I was gonna be like the first one out, so getting off the dock this evening, if that storm peaked, I was just like, I saw drama from 10 miles out, and I was like, I gotta try to get around that.
So tell me, you were talking a little bit about it during your seminar, like after the whole thing happened, and basically you just ran into bad storms once you rounded Cape Horn, and then had the dismasting, and then had to make the decision to scuttle the boat and get rescued. You kind of talked a little bit about the aftermath of that and how you had to navigate that to get back to where you are now. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and the resources maybe you had to engage?
I had a really unfortunate weather window from the time that I rounded Cape Horn until the next 10 days or so, until I dismasted. And I'm actually just seeing a friend I know from New Zealand there, Russ from OC Tenders. I haven't seen him since New Zealand.
Wow.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, there you go. You gotta talk to him after
that. But anyways, I rounded Cape Horn, and I just had a series of really, really, really unfortunate weather scenarios, and I was in this very intense low pressure system off of South America, and that's a place that's really notorious for delaminating Volvo ocean race boats and dismasting boats, and and it really was. It wasn't the wind or the wave height; it was just the sea state. The sea state was just so confused with swell from every direction because of the rotation of the low. The sea state was just horrendous, and I couldn't prevent the boat from really slamming, and then unfortunately the boat launched off a big wave and slammed down. It was. I felt the boat go airborne, and when it slammed down, that's when the rig came down. It just immediately collapsed. I don't think a rigging component failed. I think the mast tube itself just compressed and then collapsed and buckled. But right kind of in the middle.
Is that aluminum mast?
No, it's carbon. Yeah, and I mean it was the whole boat, everything, the mast, etc., all the components. We had gone through everything really thoroughly. New rigging, all of our due diligence that we could. That shouldn't have broken the boat, but there's how many masts have broken on an ocean racing boat that weren't supposed to break. So it wasn't like I missed the rudder on a jibe or something, or like that failed or a big mistake or something. It was just
a 30-year-old carbon fiber mast, right?
It was 20. It was like 22 years old or something. It was a 30-year-old boat with like a 20-year-old mast. Okay. So. But anyways, it's one of these things that happens, and it was very unfortunate and impacted my life a lot. But then right after the dismasting, 26 hours behind me was the biggest depression of the entire race. So the biggest depression that anyone in the entire race would see at any point in time was coming up a day behind me, essentially. And so the 4th, 5th, and 6th place boats, which were all moving up to 3rd, 4th, and 5th because of my dismasting. But Andrea Mura and Ricardo Cisetto and Francois Gowan, which was an open 50 and 2 class 40s.
Okay.
Those guys all, they got 70 knots downwind, and a lot of them just took their main down and did storm jib only and just tried to make the angle and get through it. And with a mast up, it was no problem. It would have been the biggest system I had seen, but it would have been no problem. But with no masts, seeing the seas that I had seen in the Southern Ocean, it was too much risk. Kind of like today, it was too much risk to tolerate. I think that like doing that next depression with no rig, I just thought it was really likely that I wouldn't make it, and I had to get out of there.
And
so.
I mean, did the rig damage the boat, or you prevented that from happening when you cut it away?
The rig was damaging the boat, and I prevented the rig from further damaging the boat by cutting it away. But when I cut it away, and I knew what I was doing, but when I cut it away, I also I cut away my chance at setting a jury rig too. So there were a lot of implications to all of your actions in a situation like that. So it was just the whole thing was a very unfortunate scenario. But the important part is that I was in a really bad scenario, and I managed to get out of there just fine.
And you made the right decisions.
I think I made the right decision, just like today, getting my boat out of the boat show. It was it's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to be cautious, and you have to live to fight another day. At that point too, the boat was really bad. There was a huge storm coming. The rig was gone. It's an old open 50. We lost the rig, the rigging, the boom, the sails, all that. At this point, the boat has no cash value. So the boat becomes so inconsequential, you have to preserve your life. And so it was so sad to see the boat go, but I had to preserve my life. And so, and then, I went home and basically just really contemplated my life and came to the conclusion that I had to try it again. I couldn't let that be the last chapter. You know? So.
And racing's your life. I mean, whether you do the Global Solo Challenge or not, you want to race. You want to be competitive, right? Or not. I don't know.
I don't know if I would say racing's my life. I've done a lot of racing. I've done a lot of cruising. I've done a lot of different things. But if I am in a race, I want to win.
Want to win it,
And so, and I have thrown myself at the GSC, and I wanted to win the last race, and I think that was pretty evidenced. I was battling at the front of the fleet the whole time, even with a lot of challenges. I think that this next campaign, I think that I'm going to have a better boat. I think I'm going to be way better prepared. I think I'm going to have just a much better platform that's a lot more tuned in. I think I'll be a lot more tuned in. I think I'll have more time to get ready. I think I'll be more relaxed and more methodical and more thorough in my preparations. I think I'll ultimately just be a lot more prepared to go as fast as possible and make it around. But I think I'll be at a higher level for sure in the next race, but I think the fleet's going to be at a way higher level. We have a lot more really good skippers that are joining. With a lot of good boats.
So the whole competition and the whole thing gets bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot harder to get third or second or first in this next race than it was in this one. So I think it's going to be you're going to have I think good programs, it's like the Vendée Globe. It's so hard to go get 10th in the Vendée Globe now. It's crazy. It's so hard to get 10th place in the Vendée Globe. And the GSC, it's going to be, I think, crazy hard to get 4th in the next GSC.
So the Class 40, they're not a foiling boat, right?
No.
They're straight up regular rig kind of thing. Because the Vendée Globe now is mostly open 60s with the foiling and all that kind of stuff. I was talking to Peter a little bit about it. His next race is going to be a foiling boat, but he doesn't have a lot of foiling experience. He's got 2 years to get it, but I was just curious how that, because I think, are you still interested in doing the Vendée at some point, or?
I mean, I would love to do the Vendée Globe. That would still be my ultimate life dream. I don't know if I'll get there. Maybe I shoot for the Vendée Globe, but I end up doing 2 GSCs and going around Cape Horn twice, and you know what I mean? Like, I would love to do the Vendée Globe, and at this point, I'm just very focused on doing the best job I can at a GSC, and if I can go win the GSC, that certainly would help my chances of doing the Vendée Globe. So that's my goal right now, is to go win the GSC.
What's the difference between a Class 40 and the Class 50 in terms of operation for you, speed?
You mean between my last boat?
Yeah, like that style boat, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my old Open 50 was a really unique boat. There were a lot of Open 50s built, and some of them were like super wide carbon. Canting keel boats with twin rudders, like a modern boat would be. And then some of them were like mine. They were fixed keel, not that wide, fiberglass single rudder boats. So it was a really, really cool boat. She was really easily driven because she was pretty skinny. So it was pretty easy to always make the boat go fast. But it wasn't the most, most powerful, had the most stability in a lot of conditions. It was a great boat. It was a great boat. I really enjoyed sailing that boat. It was an old boat. And maybe it was tired in a few ways. It's certainly, like, we went through it and inspected it, but it was an old mast, and ultimately it was a really old mast that failed. So like maybe the boat was a bit tired, but the boat was a great boat. It's different to sail the Class 40. I enjoy sailing the Class 40 a lot. I keep on telling everyone I'm having the most fun I've ever had sailing. Like, they're just like big sport boats that you can single hand, but you can really kind of throw around. The boat feels a lot smaller. It does, like the 40 to the 50. It feels like I can really throw the 40 around a lot more. I can manhandle it a little bit more, and therefore I think I can sail it. I just think more aggressively and do it to a higher percentage of the pullers, hopefully. And it is a more modern boat, even though it's an older Class 40. It's still more modern than my Open 50 was. So it's still like a modern hull form twin rudder boat with like a lot of stability and pretty wide. And it's a really, really fun boat to sail. So
because I know, just thinking back, like, I followed the Volvo and all those races. And I'm not a racer by trade, but the difference between like the old Volvo 65s and the old Volvo 70s, I remember them saying the 70 you had to calm down, and the 65 you had to push to get the same kind of thing. And I don't know which one. I guess it's safer to push it, but
my boat, between those two boats though, my boat would be a lot more like the Volvo 65. And say like Peter Gibbons Neff right behind us. His boat is going to be like even more extreme than a Volvo 70. So his boat is super, super wild, probably going to be pretty easy to break. But if you sail it properly, it's going to go insanely fast.
He was telling me like over 30 knots.
My Class 40 is kind of like if we're being brutally honest, it's sort of like an old first generation, maybe a little bit heavy, but it's a tank. And the Volvo 65s, those were tanks. So like this is that tank that you just like, you're always pushing because you have the tank.
Exactly.
And then other guys maybe have the Ferrari that's super fast, but they're like, their foot's off the throttle and they're scared the whole time of breaking it. Whereas this boat is a tank. Like in theory, it shouldn't break. Especially if I sail it properly. But then when I get the good conditions, I'm going to have my foot through the floor. You know what I mean? So
going strong. Going strong. So you're also part of U.S. Patriot Sailing. Talk a little bit about how you got involved with that, because I know you're a combat veteran. Went through some stuff and ended up doing this kind of thing.
So my journey to be part of the U.S. Patriot Sailing, which is a fantastic organization, and I'm stoked to be a part of this organization. It really started when I got into sailing. And so I got into sailing kind of like 08, 09. I started racing solo across oceans in 2010 and 12. And then I really started to, get on some pretty hot rides and work in the industry and get paid to work on boats and sail on boats and all that. Like 2012, 13. And so around that point, I had sponsorship through a different nonprofit called Hope for the Warriors. They sponsored me to race to Hawaii, and then I wanted to make that sponsorship mean something. So I actually started this concept of like a sailing clinic, and we were flying vets out to San Francisco. We were like flying vets out to San Francisco and Hawaii, two places I lived. And we were using like donated airline miles, what I mean? So it was very cost effective. We were getting an Airbnb, and we were taking 6 girls and guys sailing for 4 days, and we were doing like intro to sailing, a Wednesday night beer can, maybe a Thursday night beer can, depends on where we were at. We were getting them seats on some racing boats. We were doing like a basic keelboat lesson, but we were also like going hiking and doing an art thing and like a very like thought out schedule for 4 days. And then as that evolved, it just ended up being a different program than the rest of Hope for the Warriors, so it made more sense for my friend and I to have autonomy. So we actually started our own nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
And then it just got too damn expensive to have a nonprofit. Right? Like, we weren't making money at this. It was the other way around. It costed me like $25,000 a year to have a nonprofit. And so we were like raising a lot of the money, but ultimately we ended up volunteering so much time and everything else. It was so hard to have my own nonprofit, but I still had this goal of integrating and working with vets and getting them into sailing and sharing the gifts that sailing gave to me, et cetera, et cetera. So fast forward like 2 more years, Peter Quinn knew who I was from a online article or something, and he invited me to come out to the East Coast and do a sailboat race with them. And so I came out on this boat, and man, at the beginning of the race, we were like so bad we couldn't even tack the boat. And it was a 500-mile race, right? And by 3 days later, we were like ripping into the Chesapeake in the morning with a spinnaker up, jibing to the finish line. And these guys were like so inspired through the roof. And I just realized it was such a and I already knew it, but the foundational sort of like healing and inspiration and team building and camaraderie and mission fulfillment, all of these things that veterans can use, anyone can use. I mean, like, why was COVID so hard? It's because we naturally want to be with people. Like camaraderie, right? And so
community is shattered at that point.
And US Patriot is this rad community that is focused on sailing and having a good time and really helping people. And I've seen, like, anyone who's dedicated their life to sailing knows, honestly, like, how important a sailboat ride can be. And that's something that I think is very powerful. And I know countless individuals that have had their lives changed far for the better due to being part of this program. And whether it's US Patriot Sailing or whether it is our local community sailing group with SailMaine and like youth and women and yacht club groups, just the community around sailing is so awesome. And US Patriot Sailing is like such a cool community to be a part of. And it's such a great cause.
Right. Cool. Well, like I was telling Peter, I think it's great, especially, there's other, there's Valhalla, there's
absolutely.
whoever, you know what I mean? And I just talked to a guy over at Matt Rutherford's party the other night for Ocean Research Project. He's in Pittsburgh, but he's like, I got a lake, I got a couple boats, I'm going to start a nonprofit for first responders in my area. It's like, it just makes sense because the sailing is universal. You got a lake, you got even a pond. But it's a great resource for, because there's U.S. Patriot sailing all over the place. So
and it's also kind of like, is use it or lose it. If we don't continue, and when I say we, I mean all of us in the sailing community. If we all don't collectively come together to support yacht clubs, support boat building and marine industry jobs, and support brokers and charters, and support community sailing groups, support Crab, support Valhalla, support US Patriot, invest in the yacht club. If we don't like keep all of that going, ultimately it will all diminish and become condos on the waterfront.
Exactly.
And so, like, if you want to have a vibrant maritime community, and you have to preserve that, and you have to keep that community going. But US Patriot Sailing, they're really cool, and I think very unique, because there are a lot of nonprofits, but they really do focus on sailboat racing. And I think that's a really cool thing. Is just, even if you're not a racer, just like the beer can aspect of like putting a team together and everything else, just the camaraderie that comes through that, and just seeing boats get used. How many people see the dying marina full of dying boats? And how many people see the vibrant marina full of boats that are always going out? And the boats that are always going out are the race boats that go out once a week.
Exactly.
Or more. With good sails and a good bottom job and a bunch of people sailing. Like we need that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. So where can people find you? Ronnie Simpson Sailing, is that what it was?
It's RonnieSimpsonRacing.com.
Okay.
So RonnieSimpsonRacing.com. We also have a YouTube channel. It's like Ronnie Simpson Racing. We also have Instagram. It is at CaptainRon_official.
Okay.
Probably going to change that soon. Just make it all Ronnie Simpson Racing.
But, right.
Follow me on Instagram, Captain Ron Official, or RonnieSimpsonRacing.com.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for stopping by and letting me chat with you this time, and we'll follow you along and then see how we'll get back together with you maybe before the race or maybe as a winner.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, great to see you again.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, cheers.
Yep. He knows the story. There you go. Yep. All right, so I'm here with Ryan. He is one of the, not really underling, but you're part of Cruisers Academy. Right?
Let's call him our angel.
Angel?
We will say
I thought it was
he's our Cruisers Academy angel.
Unicorn.
Yes, unicorn. He's our Cruisers Academy Swiss Army knife.
Well, he's one of a kind and he's multifunction.
Exactly. That's properly.
But yeah, I was talking to a guy from Total Boat last night at the happy hour. He's like, oh, you got to talk to Ryan. He's over there. He used to do this really cool work, like fiberglass, not even fiberglass, but just repair work, dangling from, these wind turbines 300 feet in the air. Yeah. And it's like, you don't find those stories because you're here to talk about sailing, right? Mm-hmm. But he was very enamored with it. And I was like, that is a pretty freaking cool story because how many of those guys are out there?
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah. No, that was all working at height and industrial rigging.
Yeah. And I'm a manufacturing guy myself. I ended up in HVAC, but all that rigging stuff, like pulling huge machinery out of other huge machinery, is definitely a custom thing that not everybody gets involved with.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, and then how you got from doing that into this kind of world.
Yeah, cool. So industrial rigging came from rock climbing.
Oh, really?
I worked in Tahoe and was a big rock climber.
Yeah.
And some friends were like, hey, we're doing this industrial stuff. You could actually make money and work at height.
Wow.
So that's what led me into that. And then the work at height, industrial rope access, it's called.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That just got us to work. So we did all kinds of different jobs. I got to pressure wash the Space Needle.
Oh, really?
And we did bridge inspections and dam spillway gate inspections.
Yeah.
A lot of it too was wind turbines.
Yeah.
And whether it was cleaning, we called ourselves high-angle janitors. A lot of it was like cleaning hydraulic oil off the towers.
Oh, yeah.
But then that also led to fiberglass repair.
Yeah.
Which then, not knowing that I was going to be boating.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a cool skill.
It's a very adaptable skill into the boating world.
Fiberglass is fiberglass.
And I bet you love going up masts, don't you?
Yeah, totally. I do.
So, rock climbing, and you're in Tahoe. So, like cliffhanger type stuff?
Not quite.
Yeah.
Those movies, they make it seem way scary.
Right. Well,
but yes, cliffhanger.
Like a cliffhanger. There you go.
Yeah.
And who was the guy that did El Capitan? I forget.
The free solo. Alex
free solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of crazy stuff.
That's a whole different level.
That's a whole different level.
Level. We use ropes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I live in and come from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we have a very special rock up there called Chickies Rock.
Okay.
And so Jeff Batzer and...
I feel like I've heard that name.
Yes, and I'm trying now. Her. Not Tommy Her. Another Her. There were two guys that got stranded on Mount Washington in the 80s, and they lost their leg, and he became he still rock climbs, but he became a founder of like the carbon fiber kind of titanium appendage in a world.
Yep.
Boy, I wish I could remember his name. But anyway, I grew up because he was extended family, the one guy, and the other guy, I had his dad for like 7th grade science or something like that when it happened. So like we heard all about that kind of stuff. And like Chickies Rock is well known as like a rock climber spot up in Lancaster. Now, it's not particularly challenging, I think, but it's definitely where people get their start.
Yeah.
And I've always looked at the bottom, stood up at the bottom and looked up and went,
yeah, go do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
What could possibly
What
go
could
wrong?
Exactly. There you go. And also, I know like ATN from ATN, his mass climber is all based on like rock climbing stuff.
It's all the same stuff. Work at heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like being the rigger and then transitioning to sailing industry.
Yeah.
It's all similar.
Yeah. So how do you make that jump?
I buy a boat.
Buy a boat? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my brother decided to buy a boat 15 years ago or so.
Wow.
And just bought a boat and a book.
On Tahoe?
On Tahoe.
Oh, yeah. So like a smaller
we're Catalina 22.
Yep.
The classic first boat.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, and then we sold that boat to Brady and Blue.
Oh, okay.
That's what started Cruisers Academy, and my wife and I went. We went cruising
with them
4 or 5 years.
Oh, really? Separate.
We didn't even know them. They were just random people.
Because I remember when they bought that.
Yeah,
you know
that was my boat.
That was your boat.
That's how I learned how to sail.
Wow.
Yeah,
sweet.
That's how I learned how to
So
sail.
what did you buy?
We got an Alajuela 38.
Ooh, I never heard of that.
Nobody's heard of it. They made like 60 of them back in the 70s.
Yeah.
8-foot bowsprit, tiller steer, 15-ton.
Wow.
Full keel. Big old pirate ship thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So we cruised there on that for 4.5 years.
Really?
And then we came back to Tahoe. That's been home for us for 20 plus years.
Right.
And came back to Tahoe and saw a boat for sale, which actually ended up being one of Brady's other boats, different boat. And I was like, man, I think we sold Bluebird to Brady like 4 years ago. And that's how we then connected.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Like we're not social media. He was just some dude.
Just a guy. Just a guy. I don't know him.
He's okay. He's okay.
Where did you cruise? What were your cruising?
We started in Florida and spent a couple seasons all through the Caribbean, and then went down to South America.
Oh, wow.
And then 23 went through the Panama Canal and worked our way up the Pacific coast.
Wow.
So and the boats in Mexico. Now.
Okay.
Yeah, Sea of Cortez.
Yeah. Sweet. That I followed. Avocet through there, and Chris and Kel now here through there, and how many? But my mom lives in Tucson, so she's like 4 hours away or whatever. So one of my things is like if and when I get back out there to see her, I'll maybe want to take a trip down there.
I drove down to San Carlos last year from Tahoe.
Oh wow.
It's like 5 hours from Tucson.
Yeah.
The border's right there. Super easy border crossing there. Yeah.
Sweet. So apparently you got roped in.
I got roped in somehow, trying to work less and now, but these guys are the best to work for.
Yeah.
We get to play with boats.
So are you a captain then on their charters, or what do you do?
I work in the summer. We do the intro courses on Tahoe.
Okay.
Teaching sailing fundamentals.
Yeah.
And then we got a Passport 42, also in San Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah. So my boat and their boat, we're side by
side.
Going down on Friday to get them back.
To life. There you go. The season's starting, is it?
Yeah. It's starting.
There you go. Cool. So let's see. What are the different programs you do have? So it sounds like you have like a local thing on Tahoe, and then
Tahoe,
extended.
And then the offshore program, we call it, down in Mexico. It's more live aboard, catered towards people that want to go cruising.
Yeah,
and actually live on a boat.
Because
it's not all sunsets and cocktails. It's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that. Just not all of it.
And like sailing's just the small piece.
Part. Yeah.
Sailing's the easy part. Really.
Yeah.
It's you want to be, or you don't want to be. You will be a plumber and an electrician and a therapist and a doctor and like all the things.
And a hairstylist and everything else.
My wife's the hairstylist.
There you go. Great. Because I just find it fascinating that you can just go off on a week and learn so much. You know what I mean? So
it's really
anybody that's out there that's kind of has qualms about getting into the lifestyle, all you really got to do is take a week and you'll get almost every aspect of it. You know
as long as you can deal with me.
As long as you can deal with him. And if you want to go up the mast, he's the guy to train you how to do it.
And the rigging stuff, it's so intimidating to so many people.
Some people,
Yeah, and like heights, like inherently you're afraid of heights. but the rigging's it's not that crazy.
Not that crazy. I actually went up I have a O'Day 302, so a 30-foot boat.
Yep.
And I just went up the mast for the first time a couple weeks ago. Yep. I had a pad eye that held up my Lazy Jacks snap off. Okay. And I went to Bacon Sales. I bought a $40 bosun's chair. Got a friend to go out there and winch me up. Mm-hmm. And the first guy, I had one guy, neither of us had done any of this before. We went out, he tried to crank me up there. He was having trouble. He didn't have enough wraps on the thing. And I got up there and found out that it's not just an open hole. Now it's a broken thing I got to drill out. So I had to come down.
Never on the first try.
Never on the first try. So then the next morning I had another guy who's done it before, and he had like 18 wraps around the winch. And,
that sounds better.
You know what I mean? I was able to stand on the spreader and actually support myself. And get some purchase. I couldn't get any purchase on it originally. Yeah. So I finally got that put in, and I got the, whatever the rivet, put in and all that stuff. But yeah, it was a little bouncy.
It moves more up there.
It does.
It moves
Yeah,
more, definitely.
Yeah. So,
but man, the view's not bad.
The view's not bad at all.
So cool.
Well, and now I'm not scared of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was kind of afraid of the whole process before. Now I'm like, like none of this rigging's going to break. I'm always afraid something's going to snap off or whatever. But, you inspect the line before you do it.
Yep.
Make sure your attachments are good.
Used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, anyway, what is it? Cruisersacademy.com.
Academy.
You can get a hold of Brian.
Yep.
You can get a hold of Brady. You can get a hold of Blue. Who else is involved here? We
got Zach.
And
Kira.
Yeah,
I don't know about them, but
yeah.
Call Brady.
Call Brady. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for sitting down and having a chat.
That was a good chat.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of the Shooting the Breeze Sailing Podcast brought to you by theescapepods.com. I really hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure you leave a review, like and share, and tell all of your sailing friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast aggregator. If you would like to support the show, you can become a patron over at www.patreon.com/Jeffrey Wettig. If you pledge $2 a show or more, I'll be sure to send you a great Sail On t-shirt. For show notes, links, photos, social media, and more, head over to our website, www.theescapepods.com. While there, stop by our links and affiliates page for links to our friends and other great sailing media that we enjoy. You can also purchase sailing vocabulary lessons from Franz from over at the Sailing in the Mediterranean and Beyond podcast. The intro music is a song called Never Tell, done by yours truly, an old friend of mine, Greg Young. He was the drummer in an early 90s hardcore band I managed called The Incoherents. You can find them on iTunes, Amazon, and other music sharing sites. If you would like a copy of that song, you will have to email me. Break music is a song called Wild Winds of Misfortune, written by Leo DeSanto of the Lancaster, PA-based band Vinegar Creek Constituency, and is used by permission. The song is performed by Lancaster, PA-based Celtic rock band and friends of mine, the Ogham Stones. The music for this call to action is a live cover of The Wild Rover, as performed by the Ogham Stones at McLeary's Pub in Marietta, Pennsylvania, back in 2014. If you have questions or comments, or you have show ideas, make sure to write us at theescapepods@gmail.com. Sail on, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Molly Winans from Spin Sheet Magazine, and you are listening to Shooting the Breeze from theescapepods.com.
This is Captain Jeffrey Wettig.
And Jeffrey's better half, Nora Segel-Wettig.
And Chris Smoker.
You're listening to the Shooting the Breeze podcast on theescapepods.com. Sail on, brother.
We are from Lancaster, and we're a huge fan of the Lancaster music scene and all the other fantastic bands and artists around here. Does anyone know the Vinegar Creek constituency? You've probably seen them right here, haven't you? All right, our very good friend Leo DeSanto wrote this song and kind of said to us, hey, I'd like to hear you guys do this. And this is one of our best songs ever. It's one of our favorite songs to do, so it's the Wild Winds of Misfortune. Well, I recall how the mind when I was a little man, cheerfully oblivious of good fortune, so am I. Sausage on the table and a blessing on the day, and the wild winds of misfortune only whispers far away. Around the world, I look like hell's pajamas and I'll sink me to my rest. So grab a glass and sing along with you now.